Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Lara.
My name is Riya and I'm from India. And where are you from?
I'm from England.
Oh, that's great. Oh, how have you been doing these days?
Yeah, not too badly, thank you. I am not living in England. I am living in Vietnam,
Oh,
which, yeah,
Vietnam
and
is doing great.
Vietnam is doing great. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm very, very lucky to be here. That's for sure. How about yourself? How are you doing?
Um, India is doing fine, I guess. We are trying to do better, of course. So the recovery in India is faster. So I mean, 50% have already recovered, and we're trying to find the vaccine, and we're trying new methods, and we're applying new norms and rules to actually curb the situation.
Yeah, that's great. Hmm.
So how has Vietnam worked on it? Like everyone is so excited to know this. How has Vietnam handled the situation so well?
I mean, I don't know. I was talking to somebody about this morning. I think from very early on, they knew that they had to take strong precautions. So, they had limited ventilators, and they were pretty hot on tracing people that had come into the country, testing people, and as soon as they um, found anybody that had tested positive or had symptoms, needed help, they then traced back their steps uh,
Okay.
for whatever time they had been in Vietnam. And then they made everybody who had come into contact with this person or who had been in the same vicinity as this person to quarantine. Or even if they had people in the hospitals, for example, they closed down whole wards, they quarantined whole wards, and yeah, they put up people in hotels and made sure that people quarantined properly. Um,
Exactly.
yeah,
So I
so
guess the smart actions and the quick actions of the government helped Vietnam, very
yeah,
much, I guess.
I think so. Yeah, I know in England they were very, very slow to take action. They
Exactly.
wanted to, they wanted to use the herd method mentality,
Right.
to deal with it, and of course that didn't work. Um, but yes, I'm very, very grateful to be here. I was very lucky that our lockdown, so we did have a lockdown for about a month. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and again, I really took the time to recognize how privileged I was and how lucky I was to be in this country and to be in a situation where I have a roof over my head and I have a creative mind. So I kept myself busy and been living with three other girls. So, yeah, there are some people out there who do not have homes and do not have people to talk to or
Exactly.
are isolating alone. And yeah, it's been very hard to be away from my family and my friends.
You stuck over here?
Sorry.
You stuck over here for some reason?
So, oh no, I'm not stuck over here. I live here.
Oh, you live here. No,
Yeah.
you said that, it's been difficult for you to be away from your family. So maybe your family lives in England and you're stuck over here.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I
Oh, yeah.
mean, I had no
That is
plan.
what I meant.
Yeah. I had no plan to go home. Um, but just knowing that they are going through all of that and I am not there, even though I would not be able to visit them. My parents are very, very much vulnerable in the vulnerable category. So I would not have been able to see them anyway. But it's just hard, you know, when people that are close to you are so far away and they are going through this sort of emotional journey. It's difficult. Who do you live with? Do you live with your family?
Yeah, I live with my family and we're safe. We're all safe. Yeah, we're still going through a lockdown, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a complete lockdown. Things are open, restaurants are open, everything is, opening soon. But still, people are voluntarily taking precautions. We are not voluntarily going out. We're just going out for essentials, and even if you have to go out, then one person goes out and they get all the things. The whole family or the whole, everyone does not have to go.
Yes, of course. Yeah, that's good.
These are some precautions that people are taking on their own. It's not mandated by anyone. It's not mandated by government. We're not being directed to do so now.
Yeah.
Earlier we were, but now we're not directed to do so.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are voluntarily taking actions because we're all recognizing the fact that this is a situation that, it's not under our control.
Yeah.
And we cannot blame government or countries or system for that. Of course, they, could do better. Of course, there are the higher authorities. They could do things. But, this is a disease that we all need to fight.
Yeah.
So, of course, we need to take precautions for it.
Yeah. We are all in it together. I think it's very difficult, though, and it was very difficult when it first broke out. I know that a lot of my friends in England thought, it's on the other side of the world. We don't have to worry about that. And then, of course, like it slowly sort of sets in, and I remember seeing people posting like, "Oh, does anybody even know anybody that's caught this disease? Is it really like as bad as people are saying?" And then, of course, like a lot of the time, you can't necessarily trust the media. You know that a lot of the time they will be focusing on one particular thing. I saw a report that got leaked in Germany maybe last week, the week before, which was an accident, but was essentially saying that the sort of panic and that basically it had been over exaggerated.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've seen several different reports about numbers potentially not being 100%. So it's a lot of trying to weigh up where you're getting this information from and how you want to proceed with that. Certainly with my parents, I have spoken to them and they are still self-isolating, whatever the government says, whatever the guidelines. I said to them as well, though, and I don't think that they are panicking. They're fairly used to being quite isolated.
Okay.
But I said to them, even with the flu, you wouldn't, if I had the flu or if I had a cold, I would not be able to go and see them. They would still be at risk, So they are just taking the same precautions that they would normally. And they have a couple of carers that come in the morning and in the evening, and then they have a wonderful girl called Yana, and she will go in and she will help with some of the housework. So she's just been an absolute angel and has been doing all their shopping and things for them. Yeah,
this is a testing time for humanity, I guess. The more we show sympathy and empathy towards each other, the more we are showing that humanity somewhere is still there. Otherwise, every other news channel that you see, the kind of news that are breaking these days, you see that a lot of which are disappointing for humanity altogether.
And that was
I guess.
That's been a very overpowering feeling for me throughout this whole thing, and I'm very much somebody that always wants to stand in solidarity. And when I was in England, I worked a lot with children and young people that came from foster families and in social care and things like that, and women who have dealt with domestic abuse. And these are, situations that I myself have never necessarily been in, but I'm very aware of these situations, of the numbers of people that, you know, might not want to go home, or being able to get out of the house and go and sit in the park is actually a life-saving thing for them to do, rather than be sat in their home. So, you know, watching people kind of like turn against each other and police each other and judge, that was the hardest thing for me, you know. Like, I don't think that the virus necessarily, like it didn't make me panic. Like, I wasn't particularly scared. I was just like, cool, I'm going to take precautions. I'm going to like try and take in this information. I'm going to, like, Cambly has been wonderful in terms of just being able to talk to people all over the world and check in with people and make sure that they're okay. And yeah, this feeling of solidarity, it has wavered, or I've seen other people wavering, and I've just really tried to put out there, helping people, listening to people. And
what kind of rules did Vietnam essentially, apply?
You know, we, from January, this is when it first started happening for us, is in January, they shut all the schools. And that really was the only thing that happened. It was masks and the schools. And, you know, for the first week, the second week, and then the third week, it was all very strange, because, you know, you hear about it, but you don't know anybody that's gotten it. So it's a real, like, something that you're very detached from. And everybody that was working in the schools, because I have a lot of friends that work in the schools out here, were saying it feels a lot like a holiday. You know, if we could all be together and we could hang out on the beach, and then another week goes by, and then another week, and we're just like, what's going on here? Like, why are the schools closed?
So you had lockdown in the month of January?
No, we did not have lockdown until April. And that was just...
But, you know, the best part is the government started taking actions very soon. I guess, listening to you, as much as I could get out of it, I guess, you know, the faster the governments have taken action onto this thing, better the situation of the country has been.
Yeah.
So as you see in other countries where the government did not react, where the government, just lingered it on, the situation worsened day by day.
You know,
you'll see that.
I was going to say, you know, even though we have not had any new cases for over 2 months now, I think, if I go to the supermarket, I still get my temperature taken. And
wow, that's great.
And like nowhere in England has anybody been taking people's temperature. Not when they get off a plane, not when they go to the supermarket. You know, nothing like that. And it's really strange.
No, I guess this is where Vietnam is actually setting an example for the world.
But then,
I mean, this is where they're doing something different for the world to see that this is something that you should do. This is how things should have been from the very start.
Yeah, they offered tests for free. And, you know, if you were then diagnosed, you were given accommodation to quarantine in for free. You were given food. They really, really, took care of people.
The best thing is Vietnam did not wait for this all to just come to their places. Vietnam took actions very fast. I guess this is where they have done a very good job.
I think, but it's hard. It's difficult for me to see actually from early on. The only precautions that I can really see that they took immediate measure on is the closure of the schools.
But still a very, very great step, because, if you see in other countries, these all precautions were also taken very often. So, that time, the social distancing was just a waste, because, it would have spread all over. So then it was just a waste. So even if they just did, they shut out schools, that was great, because, it was very, very, very possible for students, for, young children.
Oh yeah, they are always the culprits of spreading colds and whatever else.
Exactly.
So nice to meet you today. Thank you for talking.